Hello again, YouTube. This is the Truth Man, give you the truth. The channel is the No Matrix, No Simping, All Subjects channel. I want to talk about being that Creed 3 comes out nationwide today. I want to talk about the situation that Michael B. Jordan had on the red carpet with the girl he went to school with, as well as give you maybe a story or two that happened to me, y'all. So let's begin. Michael B. Jordan runs into a girl from his old school back in Newark, New Jersey, who called him corny. Because we all know that sometimes in high school you either try to be under the radar, you're trying to get your business taken care of as far as school. Everybody don't play games at school. I told y'all the story about how I was just a horribly behaved kid in elementary and middle school. And I told my parents, and I already knew in my mind, when I get to high school, I ain't gonna act like this, because I knew I had to go ahead and get them grades up and finish for college and whatever else I'm gonna do. I got to school first day. I just went in the cafeteria, sat at the table, quiet. It's time to handle business. Wasn't acting, wasn't trying to be friends with everybody, like in middle school, like in elementary, even though I still knew the whole school. And this what was weird. I was so low key in high school. I'm finding out on Facebook, viewing people's profiles, that they actually went to the school. And I didn't remember a lot of those guys from my high school for some reason. Like, I don't remember seeing some of them there. I don't know if they dropped out. I don't know if they transferred, whatever it was. But a lot of them listed my high school, which was Custer High School here in Milwaukee. And I don't remember them from high school. I remember them from middle school and or elementary or the neighborhood. So a lot of people, they thought it was because, I was corny. I was in the PAT class. They viewed the people in the classes that I was in as nerds, because it's called the program for the academically talented. When you score high and when you have a consistent pattern of doing well on your work, which I did in my first 2 years of high school, they sent me an invitation and I accepted it. And for my junior year and my senior year, I was in a whole different unit. Even though I played football, I was in a whole different unit from most of the guys that I knew. I only had like a couple classes with them. Most of my classes were honors classes, were PAT classes. So some of the, people, and I said in my mind, I'm not going to date any of these girls at this school, because I thought they all was 304s, and there was rumors with a lot of them having STD. I was scared of that stuff, man. I ain't want to be scared to pee or anything like that, so I was scared of that. So I tried to carefully select the girls I dealt with, and I just labeled them all, even though they all wasn't like that. I labeled them all as being that way. I mean, even in PAT, it was a particular girl. She came to school a couple times with no panties on. You could see the hair, if you know what I'm saying. Yeah, dreams about that stuff, I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, she used to come with pink pants on and no underwear. And back then, they had the womanly covering. Now I don't, to each his own, but I don't know what they be doing the last 15 years, 20 years, 25, but nobody like that. Everybody don't like that now. But people, got it twisted, because when they went after high school ended, I was kind of careful. I was still doing a little stuff that wasn't right, and I could have easily still gotten some trouble, but I was low key, and for the most part, I stayed out of trouble, other than being late to school so many times it was affecting my grades at different points. I still was doing good on my work, but I just was being late. So you had some people that got it twisted. I think they really forgot that you went to middle school with me, and you know how I was getting down with the fighting and acting a fool. But I think they kind of got it twisted, and they didn't understand that I'm here for business. I even had like 3 fights in high school too, because people were playing around with me. One particular time, I told y'all the story, he didn't even want to let me come back to school. I hit a dude so hard. And that's because he liked it, the bad kids. Like, you know how some principals like the bad kids. So when people found out how I started doing in these streets, oh man, I remember him from high school, man. He was in the nerdy classes. Dude, trust me, man, that don't mean nothing. That don't mean anything, you know, other than me just being smart. But that's what people was trying to say. They wasn't saying it to me because I wasn't playing no games in these streets, man. And what they didn't realize is, even though I was in those classes, I was a gang member. I wasn't making it known, because I know that would have just brought a whole bunch of garbage in school. And you're not even what I was calling myself affiliated with. You ain't even supposed to make it known, especially not to the rivals. But anyway, that's my dumb days, other than how I was in school. So a lot of people like, man, he was in the nerdy classes, this, that, and the other. But people who knew me from elementary and a couple guys from my high school, they was coming over there with me. They'll see me over there, and they was coming out there with me now. Like one guy in particular, I ain't gonna name him. He was over there with me. He saw how things was going. And he knew how I was in school. He knew I was quiet. But he saw after high school, you know, things kind of changed. I got that high school diploma. And that was in between time. You know, some of the stuff was after my days at Jackson State, and some of it was before. So, you know, people like, man, you changed. Like, no, it ain't that I changed. I just was kind of keeping that stuff under wraps because I didn't want it to interfere with school. And I knew how to behave myself. I knew, like, one of the reasons why in those days the police really couldn't get me is because I knew how to switch roles and just make them look stupid. Like, make them look like I ain't doing nothing. Like, look, man, and they got so mad at me one time, and I think the guy is a lieutenant now. I ain't gonna even say his name. But he said, man, I'm tired of playing with your effing A. Next time I come over here, somebody going to jail. I said, man, you can't take nobody to jail if they ain't do nothing. I'm going back and forth with him. And that's what he did. He wasn't lying either. He came over there that night. Well, we ain't gonna even get into that. That's too much information for YouTube. It wasn't me, though, he got. It was somebody else that was with me, right in front of my house. But they were saying that same thing about me. So I know exactly, for a couple of different reasons. Like, I was running into girls from my high school. They like, you act different now. I remember you barely used to talk. And then now they wanted me, though, 'cause I had the long wave Nouveau. I used to wear the snakes and all that. You know how we did in the 90s. So now they want me and stuff. I'm like, I don't. You tried to diss me. You look at me funny. That's how I looked at it. That's how he looked at it. Michael B. Jordan, to me, is not corny. People, and here's why she called him corny. Because these women like bad guys. So a lot of marriages fail. Guys be marrying women that they got with when they was a thug. And the chick was in love with him, when he was a thug. But then, when you start changing, you a family guy now, you going to church now, all that. Now they want to dominate you. Now they want to act different toward you. And that's why a lot of people get divorced. Because secretly, they not going to come out and say, I like bad guys. But their behavior says it. So, she like him now because he got the muscles, he got the money, he got the fame, the prestige. That dude ain't trying to get with her, and she look decent. She do. She's decent. I wouldn't try to get with her either. You missed your chance. You should have got with me back then, like Savannah did with LeBron. So, I get why he did her like that, and he was really nice about it. Because y'all don't realize when people try to put that nerdy, corny stigma on you, sometimes you be having to fight. Sometimes you be having bullies. Of course, wasn't nobody bullying me. For one, I knew the whole school. There was the neighborhood school. And for two, they knew I would fight and knew how to fight. And the people that didn't know me like that, like most of the people I fought in high school was people I didn't know in middle school or elementary. And even one guy I fought in middle school, we slugged it. We played a football game. He went to James Madison High School here in Milwaukee. And now check this out. This is crazy. When I saw him on the field, I said, it's finna be a fight. I knew it, because that's just how he is. So, I'm defensive back. I backpedal, and I see him go across the middle. He was in my zone, so I covered him. And we made eyes. I said, I remember that big old no. I said, that's urgent. Me and him fought in middle school. Used to stay into it, didn't get along for the majority of the time. Till after we fought, we started, and we ain't really had no problems after that. Urgent, what happened was, I kind of started it. Because I did a late hit on somebody. After he scored, I was mad he scored. So, urgent, there was a dude named Derek Smith. He was on the team. Like, I remember his name. I remember a lot of people names from high school, especially the ones I played football with. So after the play, because I did that to the one running back, knocked him on the track too, got a nasty hit off of him. They whole sideline was in an uproar. No penalty either. So Urgent goes up to Derek and just hits him after the play. I guess, I don't know if Derek got him back because, we did a couple plays and, you had your own assignment on the plays. But a couple plays later, I looked up. I was downfield. I looked up and Derek and Urgent were fighting on the field. So practically the whole Madison team jumped in it. It was only like maybe 2 or 3 of us that was even helping. I think everybody either was scared or in shock, but they wasn't doing nothing. So I came in the pile and I'm pulling people off and throwing punches. One of their coaches slapped me with a towel. So I got ejected. Derek got ejected and Urgent got ejected. The whole time I'm looking at Urgent like, I knew you was going to start some S. I used to cuss more back then. I'm looking at him like that because that's how he was. Like, and when we made eyes, he ain't even say nothing. He just turned around, went back to the huddle. He probably was like, yeah, there he is. There go that punk mother clucker. Because me and him fought in the gym, like at Edison. We had gym periods, and a lot of people, I had at least maybe 2 or 3 of my fights were in the gym for some reason. And me and him, we fought in the gym. Like, we just bang, 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 just slugging it out. And no, he didn't win, in case you wonder. I only lost 1 of those fights. And that's because dude was like over 200 pounds. And let me tell you that story about him. His name was Derek Carrington. I'll never forget this. He was way bigger than me. We got into it. He was trying to bully me. I wasn't going for it. So I think he smacked me or something. We got to fight. He had me in a headlock. And that's why people were saying he won, because he had me in the headlock. He was throwing punches. I was throwing punches. But he got the best of it. He was just too big. When you fight big people, you got to keep them from grabbing you. At least, like when y'all kids. So I see him at a bowling alley that's closed. Back in the 90s, it was called Red Carpet Lanes. I was literally licking my chops because he practically came up to my shoulder now. He didn't get no taller. And I'm looking down at him like, hey man, let's finish this conversation. Hold on 1 second, all right? I go back in. I tell my guy, hey man, I'm finna whoop this. And so when I came back out, he was gone. I practically stumped my feet like I was finna, boy. Because that dude was showing off, man. He had me in the headlock like that, swinging, punching. It was on, where was we at, man? I think we was outside for some reason. In middle school, you didn't go outside that much. But me and him fought outside during school. I don't know if it was gym, once again, or if it was like something else we was doing. But me and him had a fight on the playground. So I was finna get him, boy. I was finna get him. And he left. And I wasn't even in there that long. I came jogging up. He got up out of there. I think he knew I was up to something. People, when they don't respect you, or they think there's something negatively different about you, just like Michael B. Jordan, you got to use that as motivation. Because you're going to get your revenge if you do your life right, if you live your life right, like he did. Then, oh, he corny. He did. Now, I guarantee you, if he would have been like, which he wasn't, because he walked away after the, if he would have been like, yeah, let me get your phone number and stuff like that, she would have been all for it. Because she was looking like disgusted that she treated him like that. But these girls be liking the thug dude. The dude, like back in those days, they probably liked it, the dude. Let me see. They probably, let me see, he a little young. How old is Michael B. Jordan? Man, how old is he? He probably in his 30s. So they probably came up during the Little John era and all that. So she probably thought guys with all the gold teeth in their mouth, she probably liked it them type. And that's what we talk about in this manosphere. Those girls that like those type now, right now. So now, after she done slept with like 20 of them dudes, now she wants to find the Michael B. Jordans, the dudes with the money now, the dudes with the prestige, the dudes that other women find attractive. A lot of women like that dude. Now she want, because you know women compete with other women. So now she want to come in the picture, even though he was corny. He looking at her like, I'm the same person. I just look different and got more money. I would have did her the same way. There's no way I'm getting, and y'all better watch that. I told y'all that's a red flag. Women who turned you down previously, do not get with them. And Michael B. Jordan, if you see this, don't get with her. Now, if you, hey, it's your life. If you just wanted to smash, make sure you use protection. Because that's the last thing you want to do is get a woman pregnant that called you corny. That's that rejection. Take it from me. Game the ones that's showing interest. If you try to get with somebody and they reject you for whatever their reasons is, do not try again. I'm telling you, this is what I'm dealing with right now. Just what I'm doing. Listen, man, don't game your way into women. If they act like they're not interested, we're going to stick to that. We're going to move on. Tell them. They come, well, yeah, I was thinking, I think I kind of want to give you my number. Like, well, you should have gave it to me when I asked. Now I got other interests now. So I experienced that myself. Like one dude, he was like, we all was fighting. And you know, he cool, man. He from the same neighborhood. But he got a good one off me when I went after one of his guys. And when I turned around, was going after him, and he kind of was running backwards because he already knew. He too little. He ain't little like that now, but he was back then. And when I was going after him, one of his guys pulled out a gun. And as we used to do in the 90s, I just got the zigzagging. I said, wait a minute, he ain't shoot. So I went in my backyard, and I got a board with some nails hanging out of it. And I came out there like this. And they was running. And so I look over there, one of my other guys, there's plenty of them on him. So I went over there and got in the fray. Bang, 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 pulling them off of them. And, but this particular dude, maybe like 5 years later, he was in the car with one of my other guys, and he said, I remember I fought you. I looked away like, because we all cool now. He whipped my guy, like literally, in the car with him. Like, but when we was younger, we used to always fight they block. Like, it was 19th. It used to be 19th versus 24th versus the other blocks. But as we got older, we just was all together. So he was with one of my friends, and he tried to bring that up. I remember I fought you. I looked at him like, because I had this thing. If you cool with my guys, you cool with me. But if I'm into it with you, I'm into it with your guys. See, it was a flip. Like, you cool with my guys, I give you a free pass. So, but I'm sitting there like, why is this dude bringing this up? He know he can't whoop me. He know he can't whoop me. So, we like 19 now, maybe 20. But we all, like, when we was in our 18, 19, 20, 21, 20, we still used to hang in our hood. Most of us still lived at home or lived in apartments that was in our same neighborhood. So he tried to bring that up. I looked at him. I looked at my other guy. My other guy smirked because he knew. Like, dude, he was looking like, why would you bring that up? We looked at each other, and he smirked and shook his head like this, looked down. And I just looked away. I said, if he bring this up again, I'm whooping his ass. I looked back up to him. I changed the subject. Me and the other guy was talking. He didn't say nothing else about it. Because I did that on purpose. Because what I was going to do is say, you ain't going to do it again. What's happening? That's what we used to say back then. He ain't say nothing else about it. So I left it alone. But that's what people do. That's what they do. They want to bring up old stuff. Like you could be 12 and a dude was bullying you. You grew up into an alpha male. Like sometimes the alpha is already in you. Like when I was 12, I was already an alpha. But I was selective as to who I fought because some of them dudes were just too big and I may have gotten them and I may not. So I didn't really like fighting people that I knew somebody was gonna jump in it or that was like a lot bigger. So sometimes guys run their mouth in situations like that. I had a situation in middle school where, remember the Christmas story? How the dude kept messing with him and he caught him on a bad day? I had a situation similar to that. And I'm friends with the guy on Facebook. So he had this cousin or whatever. Everybody was scared of him. I wasn't, but I wasn't gonna try him because he looked like he should have been in college. And we in middle school, he like an old man in the face. And he was big. So I'm walking down the hall. It's this girl, everybody used to say she was ugly. I guarantee you, y'all ever seen the girl that people call ugly when they're younger, and then you see them when they're older, and you'll be like, is that the same person? I bet you if we see her today, that's how she is. But everybody used to be like, she ugly. Just used to dog her out. So I'm walking behind her. Got my books, walking behind her. We going in the same direction of the class. This dude pushes me into her. Both of her books fell, my books fell. I cussed him out. I said, man, F you doing, man? Stop playing, man. He said, man, what you gonna do? He said, what you gonna do? I said, man, what you gonna do? He just wound up. I kid you not. He wound it all the way up like Super Macho Man. Bink! All I saw was white. When he hit me, I got so mad. My punches was already fast because I used to think I was Sugar Ray Leonard. So when he hit me, I just wound, ding, 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 ding. He could barely even, he was against the lockers. So he was trying to swing off the lockers. And he got a couple in, but boy, I got him good. And so these other two dudes trying to be a hero, you know how people try to sneak little licks in or whatever? Man, they was choking the mess out of me and him. Took us to the office. Because them dudes thought they knew karate and stuff. So, and they was cousins. I remember and one of them name was Toby. And his cousin, what was his cousin name? He used to be dancing on, had the high top fade. I can't remember his cousin name. But they had us choked up and they threw us in the office. Like, they was just fighting. We broke it up. And I'm thinking like, I contemplated getting them the next day. But I'm like, nah. So this dude pushed me into her. Like he tried to treat me like I was a nerd or something. And it's crazy because I knew him. Me and him knew each other. Like we was in a lot of our classes together. And I think like it was after one of our classmates died. They just start thinking that they can bully everybody. So when I was fighting him, his cousin didn't do nothing. I think he didn't want to take the possible loss because when he saw how I was maneuvering, he just was standing there like, yeah, he had big lips. He's like, so I got situations similar. So I know exactly how Michael B. Jordan felt. I'm telling you, like, I had a little mark, but I'm surprised my eye wasn't just, I can't even explain how my eye wasn't swollen. But I had a little mark on it because he caught me. All I saw was white. You ever get hit in your eye, like directly on your eyeball, and you just see white, like a flash of white? That's how he got me. Like, and I kind of went back like it was a good punch. But I could take a punch though. But he got me right in the eye. I kind of went back and just fury. I was furious. When I came to my senses and I saw where he was at, and he was smiling. I think he thought I wasn't gonna do nothing. But he should have already known we in the same class. He smiled, he backed up and was smiling. And I just went right up to him, and I don't think he was ready for them first couple because his hands wasn't even up. I think he thought because his cousin was with him, I wasn't gonna do nothing. So I ran up to him, bang, 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 bang. And we just got to fighting. So people will try to dog you if they think you less than. And so, yeah, we respected each other after that. Like, cause we was cool. Like, we was cool. We used to play around. We used to be the Four Horsemen and stuff like that. But he reached out to me and sent me a friend request on Facebook. Like, a lot of time, you'll gain people respect sometime. So, man, this video long, but I had to break this down. Do not. Michael B. Jordan had the classic response to somebody that mistreated him. You have to do it. I guarantee you, all the people, I ain't no telling how they was doing them. But he kept that in his mind and used it as fuel, as motivation. That's how you got to be. Do not be heartbroken over these people. Do not be depressed. Do not do any harm to yourself. Use it as motivation. Use it as motivation. Everybody want money. Most people, money is their God. So if you successful, all them people that said you would never make it in life, all them people that said you was a nerd, like if that's the case, and don't try to be no thug because people called you a nerd. That ain't why I was doing the stuff I was doing. It's just some of that stuff was just in my blood. My grandfather, my uncle, both of my grandfather was slick type of dudes when they was younger. So I wasn't doing all that goofy stuff because I was trying to prove a point. I didn't have to prove a point. A lot of them people already knew how I was. I got away with a lot, y'all. And I'm not proud of it. And I'll never do those things again. But anyway, let's close this out. Yeah. Calling them corny. Why? Because these women like pookies. I don't like that type. I don't know. He ain't got his S together. But then, if you could have a camera in their house, they're going to be on all fours for Pookie. And a lot of these women who say they don't like that type, if you could be a fly on their wall, I guarantee you, these women who get divorced, they be some Pookie side chick. They be lying to them. Oh, no, you my only girl. I love you, girl. You know, I don't see how he got rid of you. And he'll have other women. And so you go from being a wife that got dumped because she was disrespectful to being some Pookie side chick. Now, you know how a faithful wife, a virtuous wife, her VJ might tighten up a little bit. It might snap back. But as soon as she get divorced, that thing gonna be hanging out. Like, oh, and don't let her have it shaved all off, which is, to me, it just be looking disgusting when they be getting broke off. You need to have like the little lace on it, like some, never mind. Thanks for watching. Keep tuning in. This is The Truth, man. The channel is the No Matrix, No Simping, All Subjects channel.